Now you can see almost as we move away from the centre of the harbour, although still quite expensive, the houses get somewhat less posh. But what they've done in a couple of places here on the other side of the road, they've built like wharfs, as you used to find. You often see pictures of them in London Docklands and places like that. And there's one just up here. We'll walk as far as there, so then I can show you. I don't know if you can see up there. I've got the name Silver Wharf on the top there. You can smell what they call the salt sea air. No, I'm quite sure on some days when the mud turns and you maybe get some seaweed or something, it'll be the salt sea. Yuck. And these areas are named after places probably somewhere in the South Pacific, I guess. Kaleo Key, Arequipa, very exotic sounding names. And there is the wharf entrance over the road, but what I'm going to do is just pan down to the end of the road there to show you. There's a roundabout up there, and you turn left there and you head back up to the Pevensey Bay Road and out of the North Harbour. There's a cycle coming along now, and that is Silver Wharf. You can see how quite interesting the architecture. Keep the camera away from that gentleman. Yes, it must look suspicious standing there with the camera at this time in the morning. But there you go. Silver Wharf. Quite interesting, considering that it's not 200 years old, but it gives the place a certain character. Well, here we are back at the bridge. That very exclusive block there is actually known as Midway Quay. Reminds me of that big fight in World War II, the Battle of Midway, and it was certainly a battle to get in there and deliver those goods, I can tell you. So, as we can't go directly over the bridge, I'm hoping that we can go this way and still get over to the safe harbour again. But here we are in the North Harbour. And you see those houses right at the very end. You'll get some idea of how far along that North Harbour extends. Very, very large area. And I don't know if they still do it, but in the summer there used to be boating trips, and it quite surprised me that, you know, they'd last half to 3/4 of an hour just taking people around the harbour. I'm keeping an eye on the water here too, because I've been told there are eels back in the harbour, which on the one hand is quite good news for the water quality, I suppose. But certainly looking at this bit of water here, yes, it's certainly clean. Can't say that, but you can see where people have dumped things in it, bits of rope, what have you, and odd bits of, well, I suppose you'd expect a little rainbow effect on the top of the water, bits of grease, bits of diesel. You can't really stop them escaping, but it is quite clear, so that's quite good. We'll see when we get round the other side. I think there's more likelihood of seeing stuff. Now, if you want to bring a boat down here, you can take it over the road there, and there is lifting equipment, and there's the Sovereign Harbour Yacht Club, which I'm quite sure, without a doubt, is a very expensive thing to join. I can hear noises, and here you have some more of the fishing boats. Ah, yes. This was originally intended to be a bridge that we were going to drive buses over between the North and the South Harbour, I think. I find it hard to believe, but that could have been fun. And now you see I'm standing on the join between the two, and there is the North Harbour, and there is the South Harbour. Now I'm going to get off, because if there's a boat coming The bridge will go up pretty soon. Ahead of us is the, like I say, what was originally the Crumbles shopping village, but it was known as the Crumbles Marina then, and now the Sovereign Harbour. That's the back of where the cinema was before it moved to the town centre, and Asda's just over the other side. As I say, the buildings have been there since around 1980, and this has all been built up since. We've got a Harvester restaurant here, and owned by a company by the looks of it called Premier Marinas, but there's a little map. Showing the places, and you'll see where I've walked. So, down we go. Certainly at this time of the morning, very peaceful, tranquil scene. There we go. Boat trips daily from here. Oh. I don't suppose that's too bad. £6 a head. Okay. Well, after 2 weekends with quite rough weather, it's nice to come out on a morning where there's almost no wind. The trouble is, what little wisps you get, very chill. I don't feel the cold that easy on mornings like this, but even my arms are beginning to feel a bit chilly now. Now that's what I was talking about. I am pretty sure that where you see those houses at the end there, which is where the bus stop terminus is, when we first started coming round there was nothing. We pulled up against shingle, and this was here, and the fishing boats were moored up, but I'm pretty certain there was a lot more water over to the left of us, which they then filled in some of it. But a little bit more stinky round here, but that's probably due to the fishermen more than anything else. once again, see how many people I run into this early in the morning. I'll turn the camera this way because I appreciate ladies in particular don't like being filmed. So we'll take a little panoramic view. Yeah, she's gone. You see the, I don't know if you can see it clearly, the reflection of the clouds in the water there, which means that I can't see whether there are any eels in there or not. Not to worry, maybe as we get round some of the next parts it'll be alright. You hear that reverberating hum of boat engines. Pretty sure that means one's on its way back in, and some yachtsmen over there getting ready to go out for the day. I think they'll be alright. And there, once again, is the Eastbourne lifeboat, one of the most up-to-date classes. Yeah, a lot more flotsam and jetsam on the water here. Bits of oil and that floating on the surface. So any eels or anything probably aren't in this bit. So as you can see, we've come round almost in a full circle. Not far to go now. You have these little twittens that, well, I don't suppose we can really call them twittens anymore. A twitten in Sussex is something that's been like a little tiny walkway that's been there for donkey's years, but I'll call it that. They lead off into the different estates and what have you. These bridges are pretty nicely designed. And a last quick look round, and I've got to go back and round this little bit here. We'll stay on this side. We'll stay on this side. is part of the fun of going for a walk. I always have a rough idea of where I want to go, and although I might do a little bit of research beforehand for some of the historical details that I can't remember or I want to find out, I certainly don't use a script. The last thing viewers want to hear is, that's crazy, the last thing viewers want to hear is rustling paper where I'm obviously reading from a script. But, I like the spontaneity of doing these things, and I hope you enjoy that too. So like I say, I have a rough idea of where I'm going, but as always, on your way round you find things that you either didn't know were there or maybe forgotten about. Right. Can I get back down there? This is the question. As you see, we're coming back more into the residential areas now. Actually, it's when you come away from the harbour side, it's amazing how plain looking some of these places are by comparison. That only just struck me, that. Well, what has disappointed me this morning is that the water, although much clearer here, hasn't really shown any sign of any activity. I know it's some years since I've walked all the way around it like this, but I remember jellyfish, hundreds of them one year. You couldn't go a couple of yards before looking down and seeing more on them. Pale moon. There was one of them this morning. Right, let's have a... I'm looking carefully into the water here, but certainly doesn't seem to be much of anything floating around in here. It looks quite shallow, but I'm pretty sure that's deceptive. Let's put it this way, I wouldn't want to jump in there wearing just a pair of Wellingtons. I'm quite sure it'll come up an awful lot further than that. Looking down here though, I don't think, not sure that you'll be able to see it really clearly, but looking down through that bit you can certainly see where, when the harbour was built, they put these concrete blocks down on top of the shingle. Of course I can only presume that that was to help stop excessive drainage. Oh. Well, couldn't find you anything in the water, sorry. But the big bonus was Mr. Harbour Seal has come back for his summer holidays. And so we did manage to see that, which was good, very good. No, this water's definitely got no life in it round here. And what do you know? I'm back in Florida. I'm back on Key West. This is where we started, so this is where I'll finish. I wish you goodbye.